All right. Hi, guys. My name is Vishal Raskina. And so, firstly, welcome everybody out here. And you guys are amazing. Thank you so much for tuning in. I welcome you to this lovely little chat show that we have here at Youthopedia. Now, before we start today, I'm going to introduce the topic. The topic that we have is how to become the next Rannvijay. And you must have guessed it. Yes, Rannvijay is going to be our guest, and we're going to talk to him in a bit. But before that, I want to tell you a little bit about Youthopedia and the great work they've been doing, the amazing work they've been doing with the youth all over the country. And I really feel that, we're amazing. Like, the youth of this country is constantly evolving, and I've been associated with them for a while. And the amount of guidance that they give you when it comes to career, when it comes to motivation, when it comes to building these careers, it's unbelievable. And I think they've been doing some great work, especially organizing sessions like this. We won't get into like too much gyan about all of this right now, because we really want to bring our guest in. But before we bring our guest in, I want to show you a small video. Can we have the video, please? Yes, awesome. So, before we move on, I'd like to invite our guest for today. And I want to introduce him, because I've followed him for a while, and I love the work he's been doing, especially when it comes to inspiring the youth and on all these youth-based platforms. Also, he's a sneakerhead. Before this, we've spoken for sneakers for about 10 minutes, and I can go on talking to him about that. We've seen him on MTV, and I'm a huge fan, especially because we're both basketball fans also. So I can't wait to bring in Rannvijay. Can we have Rannvijay here?
What is up,
Hi, man.
Vishal? How's it going?
What's happening? How's it going? What's happening?
Very well. I hope you are safe and sound, and I also hope that everybody who's watching this live is safe and sound and healthy. That's the most important thing that's come out of the kind of situation that we're living in.
But आप कहाँ है अभी? Where are you right now?
I'm in Kerala right now. We're in a bio bubble because we're about to shoot something within 6-7 days. But right now we're quarantining inside our own rooms and not interacting with anybody in the crew.
Wow. Considering how social, I mean, at least, you are on Instagram and stuff like that. How hard has the lockdown been?
So this you will see it during whenever you interact with me. I'm a guy who looks at the glass half full. For me, any situation is better than what it could have been. And it irritates people around me sometimes because I'm okay with anything. But I saw it as an opportunity. First of all, I thought that we were really blessed and grateful that we were in our own houses, in the comfort of our own houses, in the security of our house. We could choose what we wanted to eat. हम लोग को क्या देखना है हम देख रहे थे, and we were with our families. So in that instant, as soon as the lockdown started, you felt that you're grateful, and there are people who haven't even reached their homes and they're away from their families. So वहाँ से जब बात शुरू होती है, then you're always thankful and grateful for spending time with your daughter. Then you're like, how can we make this better? So crafts with the dancing, workouts at home, trying to innovate stuff, some cooking, some this thing. So very wholesome experience. And many a times connecting with people like yourself, families across borders, because now you have time. Straightening. I was telling people in the beginning when we were doing these lives and everybody's trying to kind of inspire another person. If you were working out, your friend circle, somebody would see you working out and say, okay, I'm also going to work out. You would make something, so lots of arts and craft, lots of reading books, lots of those things that you always said, yaar, kash mere paas time hota to main ye karta. And I saw a lot of people doing that. There were lots of positives that came out of it. And so I'm not one to complain. I think it was good. It was good. Really had a good time.
Yeah, I think the lockdown was really strange, because I think we've been traveling like crazy in the last few years, and suddenly when you had to stop, for me, I had to reevaluate my life decisions after a while.
Yeah, but for me, it was the balance that life, you have to have balance, because you travel so much. Now you get to be with yourself, with your family inside the house, and see what's important and how you can make the most of it. And it was great, man. Like, how can you complain? Yeah, it was good.
So I think this interview, I mean, we are going to get to know you a little more, and we're going to understand where you're from, and where you started and stuff. And I'm sure some of these questions must have been asked to you in all these years that you've been on TV. But I want to kind of ask you this one question: that has everything gone according to plan? Like right from when you started to now, like what you thought.
It's a multi-folded answer, but am I doing what I wanted to do when I was in the 12th standard? Yes. So it's gone all according to plan. Was this the way, this the route to do what I wanted to do? No, maybe not. So here's what. And first of all, I just want to say I'm really excited to be talking to a lot of people and telling them about Youthopedia, because honestly, when you're in 11, 12 and you go to college and stuff like that, you have to make career decisions and you're not sure about it because there's no awareness, there's no platform, there is no, the only kind of exposure you've gotten is to the careers of your parents or your surrounding uncles and aunts and stuff like that, but you don't have real internship experience. So I tell people that while you're in school and college, try to work in different fields, try to explore, so that by the time you have to take this massive decision of what I want to do, you have an idea. And today's India, you can be anything you want.
Yeah.
Right. And there are platforms like Youthopedia, which will tell you, okay, what is your passion? If this is your passion, okay, first recognize that passion. Everyone wants to say, mujhe ye karna, wo karna, but first recognize what you really like doing. By having many experiences, you will understand. Okay, I actually went motorcycle riding for 12 hours and I actually didn't like it. The idea of many things is crazy for people, but once you have many experiences, you understand what you want to do. So once you recognize that, then leave no stone unturned to achieve that. And thankfully, in today's day and age, you have platforms like Youthopedia where you'll get the right kind of guidance, mentorship. There will be a route, which for me, the route was like, I don't know how to get there, but you kept on doing it. So we'll talk about that. But I'm saying that kids are now lucky that they have this kind of resource at hand. Just go follow Youthopedia. And then and you say, I want to be a DJ, I want to be an artist, even like mental health and stuff like that. This is where full well-being of a young kid is happening, so that they can achieve their passion and eventually becoming happy. So coming back to the answer, as I said, it's multifolded, is that what did I want to do when I was in the 11th and 12th? I wanted an adventurous life, where I'm doing some kind of adventure, like once a week, I'm doing something crazy, like a rock climbing or river rafting or just trekking or obstacle courses and all of that. Okay. Because I wanted to ride bikes. I wanted to play sport, basketball, volleyball, all of that, cricket. I wanted to play sport regularly. And I wanted to travel. Now with the exposure that I had till that time in my life, the Indian Army was the perfect answer for me, because I'd seen that exposure, and everything that I wanted from all of these things that I've listed was going to happen, because I saw my dad do it. I saw my granddad do it, and my uncle was doing it. And I was like, this is the life that's meant for me. I'm going to play sport. I'm going to travel. I'm going to have adventures. And the life is great. It's an amazing lifestyle because of the exposure that I had. I went on roadies only to win the bike, because I was like, once I pass out of the Indian Military Academy, I will have a bike instead of spending my stipend money that you get over those training period. You spend on a bike or whatever. I'll already have a bike and we'll spend on like a TV, fridge, stuff like that, but it'll be cool. And it was the coolest bike at that time. But that is where I was exposed to new things in my life. I saw a creative crew. I saw, oh, adventure यहाँ पे भी हो रहा है, इधर भी basketball है, bike चला रहे हैं, travel भी हो रहा है. So all the things that I wanted to do then, I saw in another kind of sphere than what I had known. And that attracted me to it because with all of that also came a sense of creative satisfaction that I saw in the crew. And I was like, wow, man, इनको अभी कोई award नहीं मिला है, लेकिन ये हर रोज रात को एक साथ बैठ के कहते हैं कि यार हमने ऑफिस में ये सोचा था, आज ये हो गया, how that went wrong, but we did the right. And I was like, wow, man, this is amazing. Like you're getting happiness in achieving, like you're figuring out what you've done. And so I said, okay, I'm gonna try this. As a family, long walks, long talks, and we finally decided that if within the next 1 year nothing happens, you go back to the army. You give your next CDS exams, cross your SSB because you passed it once, probably again. The idea, which I now tell people, is to try many things, was exactly that in a different way. Try करो. अगर fail हो गए, तो at least जिंदगी भर जब तुम border पे तैनात हो, तुम ये नहीं बोलोगे काश मैं अगर कर सकता. अगर try करके successful हो गए, तो फिर that was the right choice. So trying is must, and finding out whether you can or cannot do it. And what do I do today, Vishal? When NBA came into India, why did you follow me? Because I wanted to play basketball all my life.
Yeah.
Became work. Now I'm flying to all-star weekends in America to watch the best players on the planet, and this is part of my job.
Yeah.
I get to pay. I get paid to ride a bike. I mean, this is not a light just went, but I think you can still see me.
Yeah, that's fine.
This is not boasting or anything. This is pure evidence of the fact that you can still, and it could be anything. Like who says कि मुझे life में bike चलानी है? But
correct.
To be as stupid as that, कि मुझे सिर्फ travel करना है और adventure करना है, and then you just follow it. And I will tell you instances of things that I didn't do because of which I'm still doing what I wanted to do. If my priorities were money and not this life, then I would have been earning a handsome amount of money per month doing a daily soap, which was great. It would have paid me bucks that maybe I don't earn today, but it would have taken away the number of days that I would have done the things that I love to do. So it was a 28-day shoot for 4-5 years. I would have earned a lot of money, but I've missed out. I would have missed out on those 23 to 28 years where I traveled and did my river rafting and did this and that, where people actually today, because of those years, end up calling me, oh, there's a new SUV. Can you go off-roading in it? Can you try it out? Oh, the NBA games are happening in India. Can you promote it? Can you be there? What do you think we can do? Can we make some content around it? And eventually, I want to ride bikes. I want to travel. I want to do adventure activities. I want to play basketball. I loved sneakers from that time, and I do that. And it's all become my life.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm telling you, if somebody told their parents at that time, and not even like now you have Youthopedia and platforms like this, at that time, कि मुझे actually एक sneaker collector बनना है और मुझे bike चलानी है, they'd be like, पागल. But behind all of this is that I was still true to my passion. It was not like, oh, मैं ज़्यादा famous हो सकता हूँ, मैं actor बन सकता हूँ, इतने पैसा मेरा passion नहीं था, नहीं तो मैं शायद वो वाले काम कर लेता. So you have to be clear. Some people do have earning money or are having resources, building homes for the family, whatever. So priorities of that person need to be understood by that person, and then then lots of hard work.
So I'll tell you why I asked you this, right? Because I also was training for the armed forces. I wanted to be an Air Force pilot, and because my godfather was a Navy Commodore, and
But in your case, you won't be able to be a fighter because you're 6'3".
Yeah. So I failed the medical. I passed the written. I failed the medical because I've got flat feet. And I remember at that time, that was like everything to me. Like I wanted to do that. And then I remember it just changed because I had taken science to do this, and like everything was set for me. And suddenly, I remember in college, I went on. I remember a teacher came to me and she said, "Oh, Vishal, tujhe English aata hai अच्छे से, tu ja stage pe." And that was the first chance I got to like host an event, and that's how today I said, "Oh, okay, this is something I can do." So it's really like, it's I feel just as you said, right, for students to kind of start that journey and start this thing. And I think what you've done is like so good in terms of just being in that space. But tell us one thing. I'm going to come back to the main conversation, but I've seen you get really mean on roadies also. How do you manage to get so mean on roadies also sometimes?
It's not about being mean, it's about being who you are on roadies as a guy who's selecting people, right? There are lots of times where people say such strange things, and if you had to be artificial and fake, you'd be like, okay, acha, aage badhte hain, I don't care about that. I care about you watching me saying that, dude, this guy just disrespected a girl. What is Rannvijay going to say? Right?
Correct. Yeah.
And that's why you saying, dude, I follow you for your sneakers or anything, because you also resonate with who I am. If I was an idiot that you didn't resonate with, whether I had sneakers or not, you would not care. Right?
True.
And these are the things that actually make you who you are, because there are times when somebody disrespected the country. He's like, मेरा तो बस एक ही aim है, मुझे अमेरिका जाना है. मैंने कहा, कभी तेरे पास पासपोर्ट है, तेरे पास कभी गया है अमेरिका, तूने देखी है वहां की लाइफ क्या है? तू यहाँ पर जो तेरे को मिल रहा है, जिसकी वजह से तू इतना बड़ा लंबा चौड़ा हट्टा कट्टा लड़का बना है. So those are the reactions, like you said, were forceful and aggressive. But the reason to get there sometimes wouldn't be understood by viewers because you have only that kind of amount of time. But my intention and the reason I was doing it had nothing to do with good television or how to look. When you start worrying about how you're going to look, you're going to be a nice, very nice fake person. And the kind of work I was doing, I'm going to say what I'm going to say. And if you like it, great. If you don't like it, wo bhi chalega.
So I feel a lot of people, right? And I've been speaking to students also over the last 3-4 years, trying to understand how to kind of get their passions going and stuff. But I feel a lot of people get like have lost the idea of how to hustle. So when they kind of get a little, when it gets a little hard, they kind of give up and say, "Oh, this is not for me. Maybe let's go." So I want to understand from you, like what have been like the hardships that you've gone through? Because I feel being in this space, this public space, this youth space, I think it comes with its own kind of hardships also.
There are lots of hardships, brother, but you can't. What I do is, like, I remember from the place that I've come from. The reason my parents, they wanted me to go to the army, I cleared the SSB. By the way, that clearing the SSB, NDA, the IMA and CDS and everything gives you a huge boost in your confidence, even if you don't go to the army, because clearing the SSB is a big deal, right? That is the reason when I talk and I'm aggressive or something, it's almost like I have that confidence saying that, no, if I'm right, I'm going to say this. And I mean, listen. Now, moving forward, what happens is that everything that happens, which you feel like, oh, I did this film to have a 40-year. So in our families, the career has to be 40-year long. ये 40 साल का career होना चाहिए. फौज में होता है या कोई भी career, तो आप set हो, right? I am looking at a way of life where if somebody's worked with me, they should work with me. Their experience should be great. They should be like, dude, this guy is so professional. Of course, talent में 19-20 हो सकता है. Of course, जो film मैंने की है वो शायद 100 करोड़ ना जाए, शायद flop हो जाए. लेकिन क्या वो इंसान मेरे साथ दोबारा काम करना चाहेगा? तो हार्डशिप्स, फेलियर्स में लोगों को लगता है कि अरे फिल्में नहीं चली तो बड़ा मुश्किल हुआ होगा. हार्डशिप्स तब तक नहीं होती जब तक आपके मॉरल्स और आपका जो बेस है ना वो ना हिले. It was great. My parents were always proud of me. Till that time is there are no hardships. Fun days सही होने चाहिए. I will work as hard as anybody else. I've shot for 7 straight days without sleeping. Nobody asked me of that, but it was my choice to do 2 projects together because the hunger was there, because the fire was there.
Correct.
The fire was there. My funda was that I am going to live the life that I want to. For that, I will do whatever it takes to achieve the resources to do riding, playing ball, adventure, travel, to afford scooters, to all of that, right? So
amazing.
The hardships is what you look at and you say, oh, pretty proud of myself. Because the easy things you're not going to be proud of. Oh, I got a brand. I was a brand ambassador. The hardships are the reason you became the brand ambassador. So they are the ones that you have to have. Yeah.
So I think now when you talk about students, a very interesting question that, I mean, even Youthopedia sent me and they said, this is something we should kind of ask you. What should students follow today, like to achieve success in life? Like what should students kind of look at?
यार ये पर्सनल जो हैप्पीनेस कोशेंट मेंटल हेल्थ की जो बातें होती है ना, ये बहुत राउंड अबाउट चीजों में होती हैं. बट ऑनेस्टली by the time you're 50-60, if you worked hard in your life a little bit, everybody has money enough to support your family. You've educated yourself, kuch na kuch karke ho jayega. It's the age from 20 to 50 where when you sit when you're 50 and 60, you sit and you're like, yaar, we are all good, do ghar hai, tere paas 5 hai, mere paas 1 hai, but sab sahi ja raha hai, khana bhi. Then you're like, but yeah, when I was 23 now, I went across the world. Yeah, then I went to that waterfall, and then I had an internship in Belgium, and then I came back and I went to this village in India, and then I did the water resources. It's the experiences that are going to make you wealthy, which means happiness comes from you doing what you want to, and there are two ways: either your passion becomes your work, or your work funds your passion.
Correct.
So there is a lawyer friend of mine who's a biker. He can't become a professional biker, but because he's such a good lawyer, he has a Harley Davidson, he has this thing, he has that thing, and he can afford to take time off because he can afford time off because he earns well to go to Leh, to do a ride to Tibet, to do different things. So the difference is that a kid needs to understand what they want for happiness, either get that as a profession, or do whatever it takes to fund that passion, to fund that happiness. The idea of what a good life is has to be clear. For us, we were lucky that we were brought up in a way where we were like, every time I saw myself as successful, I saw a house, I saw a basketball ring outside, I saw my cousins around me, I saw my kids, my parents, everybody's eating together, we're partying together, music chal raha hai, basketball chal raha hai, thak gaye, uske baad thoda sa exercise kiya, phir picture dekhi ek saath, aur ye to जब वो एंड गेम क्लियर है, एंड गेम इज नॉट प्राइवेट जेट, एंड गेम अलग है, तो वो आसान एंड गेम है. मुझे आई जस्ट हैव टू होपफुली टेक केयर ऑफ एवरीबॉडी दैट आई लव. दैट्स माय एंड गेम, एंड एवरीबॉडी शुड बी able to afford a sneaker, this, help people, this and that. And for that, what is really important is guidance and upbringing. And if you're not getting it from your parents because they're busy, which is okay, different resources, not your teachers, because again, different resources, some people go to different schools. That's when a place like you or me or Youthopedia comes in saying, hey, let me help you understand through your conversations, through our interactions, what is it that you actually want to get to. Okay. What do you want life? Aisa chahiye, wo chahiye, okay. You think you can do this, you can do that. And luckily there are other options now. Instead of just parents and teachers, now there are platforms. People are ready to help you and guide you and mentor you towards your ideal life. Be it professional, be it happiness, be it mental health, be it anything. I mean, this is great. It's like a best friend who doesn't judge you.
Yeah. So I want to ask you, like, your entire journey from contestant to celebrity now. From contestant to I mean, how long has the journey been roughly now? How many years now? This entire thing? 18 years. 18 years, right? And it's can you tell us like a few like stories from this journey, stuff that that said, oh, I'm here to stick, oh, I might kind of like fall off the wagon, I might be, like this thing, like from this journey, we'd love to know parts of your journey, or what are the best and the worst parts of these things that you've done.
There were times when you doubt your decision. I was 20 years old when I came to Bombay. I didn't know a single person. I didn't know where I was going to stay, but nevertheless, my parents said, listen, if you want us to help you out, should we call an officer's mess? Should we stay here? There? Anyways, I had a friend in a place called Charkop Naka, which is close to Mud Island. You take a left from Uncle's Kitchen, and just before the fire brigade station, there are these buildings, and there were 13 guys staying there. in one room. And the thing was that in the night, if everybody's home, then 6 people are not getting to sleep. So some people had night shifts, some people had day shifts. So there were times when I didn't want to go home because I had no place to sleep. So I would be at a cafe coffee day, which is a 24-hour one in Mindspace. Just sitting and chilling and talking to friends and just and biting time, because by the time you go at 6 o'clock, there'll be a place available for you. Now that is not something that you're like, oh, bhai, bahut mushkil tha. It was just like, that's it. You're 20 years old and you want to be in a new city. You don't have a house there. Your parents are not posted there and you have to live there and then you have to catch a bus and all that. Is it struggle? No, it's the beginning of your life. You can't doubt that, oh, badi bahut struggle thi. Nahi, matlab, doston ke sath reh rahe the ab. Now, then the show is doing well. You're the host. Of course, there are many complications. Then you do a film. The film doesn't work. Then you start questioning, okay, what is the longevity of my career? Will I be a VJ for 5 years, 10 years? Nobody's been a VJ for 10 years, yeah. Like even Cyrus Saukar and Cyrus Bocha have left MTV. You know, what do we do? How can I have? So that means I have to do fictional stuff. Oh, the first film hasn't worked. Okay, then you don't have work for 3-4 months. That's when things start biting you. Oh, no work. How will you pay rent? How will you do this and that? And of course, other people are doing much better. But thankfully in my life, when those times I had more time. When I'm not working is when I can ride a bike and play basketball. Because the real fundas in life always kind of rescued me. Even now, if I don't want to work for a month, what am I doing? I'm with my family somewhere in a park, which is unbelievable, right? But that's why the fundas have to be right. That, oh, free time, not absorbs time. It is the time for you to go and do that off-roading, go and be at a beach and stuff like that. And everything can happen in their own budget. We went to a beach even when we had 0 rupees. And we go to a beach now when we can afford a villa, right? So, and I think at every time you should do things that you're capable of doing with those resources. Because I'm glad that I went in and did my backpacking across whatever Europe with my friends. We went to Barcelona after a friend's wedding and we did buses and trains and this and that. And then we stayed in youth hostels because I've got a new experience because now I can't with the family, with kids, we always go and stay in, better places or whatever. So the hardships is how you take it. And it again comes from the support system that you have with your family and friends. When you're down and out and you have no work, is when your friend says, hey man, let's just go for a trip, man. Or parents say, why don't you come home? We're missing you and all of that. And I'm grateful and very, very lucky and blessed to have that kind of a thing. And that's what I say, invest in people, have friends, trust them. I have friends that I'm saying, dude, if you don't want to do that job, don't do it. And you come stay with me, we'll chill. Right? And when you have that, then you're more confident and then everything is not desperation. And in our kind of work, especially in front of the camera, you see that the 2 jobs that you're getting that week and some other host gets it, you don't even know the guy or the girl and you're like, oh man, you subconsciously stop liking that person. Whereas everybody's trying to just do their own job. So it's a tough place to be. But I think if your basic fundas in life are like happiness, small, simple things, then no problem.
So now this is a question that, when I do a lot of these interviews, I have to ask this because I feel there is this one defining moment that most celebrities have that they say, oh, now this is where, there is like, I'm talking with the fan following that you have. And, can you tell us of that one fan moment that you've had that, then you said, oh, now I am something, or, I've reached a place or something like that.
Aaj tak bhi nahi bolta aisa that I've reached a place. But there have been weird moments. The first time I saw somebody with a tattoo of my face on their arm was just weird. It was just weird. It was just ridiculously weird. And I couldn't say that I love it or I like it or like, wow, I was not impressed. I was not happy. I was just like, what? This is like a permanent thing on this person's skin. And then I've seen somebody with my name written on their this thing, which is like, I was like, damn. So it's crazy. And you got to keep a level head because it can easily get to your head. And there are times when you're younger and you go to inside a room or a club or this place and you get a lot of attention And as a young people, if you get attention, you should enjoy it and not be like shy about it, because your hard work's made you what you are. But just don't be a bad person. Don't hurt people, and then it's okay. If you're famous and people want pictures with you, take pictures, and they'll be like, wow, what a nice guy. But being famous doesn't translate into being happy or having a regular cash flow or a job. You have to translate that fame into the next project. Right? Which means that work, if you keep working, it's good. And for me, if you've seen whatever following in touch with it, it hasn't happened overnight with one project. It's happened year after year of blood, sweat, hurt, stitches. I think 6-7 years of roadies, few years of Splitsvilla, few films that did well or didn't do well, some series, and slowly, you're like, guys, like, dude, this guy is just going to keep coming back. He's just going to keep coming back. It was not one film or one thing that overnight. It was not like Roadies one that I was like this. It's Roadies now. If you go on Roadies, you have 300,000 followers in one season. Whereas it's been 17-18 years and different. Like, I've got some people like you who might follow for basketball or for sneakers. Somebody because they like the way I am with my daughter. Somebody because they saw a web series. Somebody because they're Roadies or Splitsvilla fans. It's not been one major event that changed my life. And I'm like, wow, and now I've made it. So I've seen some new kids who are doing really well, and they saw themselves on the billboard for the first time, and they threw a party and stuff like that. I was like, dude, I've been on a billboard so many times and I didn't think it was special. I thought it was my job. And I was like, great, this is great. But you moved on because like, ye iske baad kya hai? Iske baad kya hai? And I guess, I guess for me, the whole point is that I got to keep doing this for another 20-30 years.
So another question I want to ask you was, I feel it's so important. I mean, this is what I feel, and I feel, like how I followed you for basketball and for the sneakers and for everything. And I feel you've been doing so many things, in different directions also. How important is it, I think, for the youth today? Because I feel, as you mentioned that 40 साल का career होता था, so they used to do one thing for 40 years.
Yeah.
How important is it to do many things, or try many things? Not try, but like a multifaceted career.
So there are again two ways. If you're good at something, you got to spend 10,000 hours doing it to be the best. So if you're a musician and you love music, then you better be doing riyaz in the morning, practice in the evening, class in the afternoon, performance, whatever. You keep doing it, become the best musician. Goes for many skills, painter, whatever. But I feel, and especially in actors and many other, like even lawyers and stuff like that, you get the reason you work, why a human being works, is to fund and get resources for a good life. Some people get immersed in their work so much that they're doing really well and it's charging them, but there is no life. You might be doing really well, but you end up not living the life that you started working for. So you have to keep reminding yourself when you're in school and college, hey man, I thought that if I was rich or if I had some money, me and my friends would go to Rishikesh for a trip, right? And now you're so busy in your life, you haven't had a trip with your friends. So what was the point to start working? Oh, I'm going to get my parents a house. Or whatever it is, I'm going to spend time with my parents, and you can't see your parents. So these are the things that you got to keep reminding yourself. The reason you started working was to fund that amazing life that you want to lead, or life that you'd be happy with. So yeah, I keep trying to remind myself of this.
So we have a question that's coming from Prachi Tiwari, who says that what is the turning point in your career? What has been the turning point of your career?
I'll tell you, the turning point of my life was clearing the SSB.
Okay.
Yeah. And that gave me confidence to actually do whatever I want to do. And I don't know if there's anybody who's from an army background, you will ask your parents or your dad and mom who has cleared an SSB. The day I had that plus sign on me that I was recommended for medical, I thought that I'd achieved and I could fend for myself and my parents would be proud of me. And I was only like 19 or something. And I was like, okay, we're done. We're good. I'm going to the Indian Army. I'm good, right? That's the confidence and that's the chip that I still carry on my shoulder. I'm like, dude,
how nice,
right? That was the changing point in my life. Because before that, your school, college, parents, this, that, padhai karo, nahi karo. Once that happened, I got so much respect from my parents, from everybody around my parents. There are people that I was like, okay, I'm going to continue to do this because I worked hard for this. And it's as soon as you work hard, life becomes easier. It's strange. So if you,
correct,
it's strange that you keep working hard and life becomes easier and easier. So I was like, great, मैं तो ये करूँगा, मेरे को बहुत easy लग रहा है कि hard work करना आसान है.
correct.
अगर मैं exercise करना शुरू कर दूं और बहुत मेहनत करूं, मेरी life आसान होती जाती है. लोग मेरे को देखते बोलते, wow man, wow, fitness, this guy, right? That's the other thing that I was always into. I was always into fitness. And that's also today's day and age. It's like an influencer. They're only fitness influencers. They're only this. So it's all there. But I also feel lucky, having said that, that's why this is not a plan. There's not a route. First I will do this, then I will attempt that, then I will do this, then I'll have these many followers. Aisa kuch nahi tha. I just wanted to keep doing this, and it's eventually rolling into whatever it is.
Yeah. So now this is a very, very interesting question. Nisha has asked, how would you describe yourself?
I would describe myself as an easy, chilled out person who loves to have fun and is amazing at almost everything. That's the truth, because my friends would, if I didn't add the last line, my friends would be like, I'm lying. So I think I'm going to be the best at playing cards, Ludo. I want to win, very competitive, a game, code names, whatever it is, ultimate frisbee, basketball. I'm very competitive, and I kind of take pride in just being as good as I can be in most things that I do.
So no, and if this question, like if I like to build on this question, like if you had to introduce or like describe yourself to someone who absolutely did not know who you were, then what would you say? Because I'll tell you why. I'll give you a small little context for this, is because I remember I went to this small little party where my mother was, and I had to explain to them that I'm an MC. And I said, I go on stage and this is what, and I take great pride in doing that. And she said, oh, but why can't you do something better?
Interesting.
But she said it, she didn't say it derogatorily. She just said it because she was clueless, and I got that. But how would you kind of describe, if someone did not know who you were?
Then I would say that I'm a guy who does a lot of adventure and sports activities, who also dabbles in acting and lives life to the fullest, has prioritized his family and his passions, and is just living it up, I guess.
Wow. So Sanand Singh says, Rannvijay, tell us about your Barcelona story when you said yes to everything. Ooh.
Barcelona story when I said yes to everything.
Yeah, there are apparently some very good, like very hardcore followers of yours here.
Barcelona story. So basically, I've been to Barcelona with my friends. A friend of mine got married in south of France, and then she got married and she left. And then Minna, Mota, Murgi, my friends, we all say, okay, we're going to go to Barcelona, Amsterdam, this and that. And then we went to Barcelona, and I remember I got mugged. Because
I've heard of this, by the way. Yeah. They're crazy.
Yeah, because in Barcelona, they just like slice your bag. You don't know. There's a old guy whose keys have fallen. He's struggling to pick up the keys. I'm picking it up, giving it up. My bag's gone. And then we went there with MTV once, which was when I actually got mugged with the friends. My Ibn got mugged. So Barcelona was, and then somebody's passport got stolen in the bag. It's just, it's a different way of going to that place, man. Barcelona.
So Aarti Mehra asks, hi Rannvijay, please tell us about that moment of yours when you thought that this is too difficult and success is not that easy to get, and how did you get rid of such thoughts?
So I still feel like, success is not permanent. It's not like, oh, once you're successful, you're always successful. You got to keep chasing it. In my case, I think many things have to, at different times. Now I want to be a successful father, I want to be a good son, this and that. Many things keep changing, right? But many things are difficult. For me, a lot of physical things happen. Like I'm on fire, moving on a moving truck pin. I am on fire and I have to get down, and before everything, it has to be doused. So physically, many things have been very difficult. But one thing that I haven't had a real hold on is that when you shoot for fiction, which is movies or series, you work as hard as any other crew that has worked hard, right? And you've seen bad films also, and you say, "Hey, ये तो बड़ी खराब picture है." But उन लोगों ने भी ऐसा 50% नहीं दिया, वो भी धूप में full मेहनत कर रहे हैं. तो उसके ऊपर पकड़ होना, whether this film is going to do well, whether this series is going to do well, you actually have no idea. You actually, I don't, so that's tough. Which thing to do, what to do. So I now concentrate on, of course, I know if I make a good show, because I know roadies and Splitsvilla, I have a bit of a thing that, oh, this will do well, this won't do well, let's do this. But in fiction, what happens is that, so now I'm like, dude, I'm going to concentrate on the kind of people that I'm working with who are fun. The crew should be fun. If the experience is great, I'm okay whether it does well or not. If it does well, very good. If not, we'll try to make something again. So that's a little bit of a tricky situation in this thing, that you don't know what's going to work. And that is why you got to continue to do it. Like there's like Bhuvan Ban, when he put his first 10, 15 videos or 20 videos, didn't know that he's going to reach there. You don't know what works. Prajakta Kohli has told me, because it's like, I was going to quit. And that week I put some video, which I was like, was the worst. And that blew up. So even if it's a 15-second video, if it's a reel, or if it's a 10-minute video, or it's a movie, if it's in a big theater or on a small screen, everything you should do, you should hustle, like you saying, in different things. And that's what, this whole hustle is all about. And that's what that's what you enjoy. Sometimes you enjoy making a film. Sometimes you enjoy making a reel, like for 15 seconds. But so you should be expressing yourself. As an artist, you should express yourself in many different ways. It can't be just one. मैं सिर्फ film actor हूँ. तो फिर तो जब ये OTT platforms आएंगे, आप क्या करोगे? Then you'll have to swallow your own this thing, saying नहीं मैं series में भी act कर लूँगा. नहीं मैं, so you gotta be flexible.
Correct. So I want to ask you, which has been now, like we want like a story from you, and I wanted to know, like, if you look back now at this career of 18 years, like ever since you got on TV, in the TV space, which has been like the most memorable time you've had on this? Like, what is the top, like ekdam top?
I think Roadies won, because at that time I was a contestant. I was just doing all the tasks that were thrown at us, living it up, no responsibilities, just carefree, having fun. And then, of course, subsequent years, you go to Australia, Brazil, this, that, Kenya. You do many things. You travel across the world. But that one time, I was just like, whatever I did was the show. Now I have to be responsible. I have to make things happen. I have to say it in a certain way where people understand. And then there's a twist, this, that. That was just, I remember, it was just like an amazing journey. And we had a great time. So, and I also defined and gave me that opportunity to get that exposure, get a new, it was like an internship, and getting to do so many things. And that view of the world that I saw outside of the army for the first time actually kind of gave me a clue of what I could do. So it was very important, and it was just effortless. Like I didn't care about the way my hair was looking or what I was saying. Hindi baat karo, English mein. I wore my basketball jersey and my shorts throughout, and just had a blast. And I think people love that. And that's why,
Where do you draw inspiration from? Because this is something I've always wanted to ask you, and reason is because I feel so many other people, I feel there is youth, but they don't know where to draw their inspiration from, and it can go either really well or really badly. Where do you draw your inspiration from?
So of course, you idolize people when you're growing up. You look at Michael Jordan, you look at Kobe Bryant, Allen Iverson. Lots of people look up to different people. I also think that if you're getting inspired by somebody, there should be access to that person, right? There should be. It's better. I've told a lot of people to find inspiration around them so that they can pick the brains of the person that inspires them, and also see their flaws and understand that even the person that inspires you is human. If Ryan Reynolds is inspiring me, how do I know what kind of a guy he is? What is this thing is? Because I'm only getting a image that he's thrown out in the world of him. I don't know who Ryan Reynolds is, Dwayne The Rock Johnson. I don't know this. I don't know who Michael Jordan really is. So again, I looked at my grandfather because my father looked up to his own father, right? Not because he's also an army officer or is a great sportsman. My dad's a phenomenal sportsman, great horse rider, basketball player, tennis player, golfer, everything. But my grandfather is a guy who joined the army when there was emergency. He used to work in a doctor's clinic as an assistant.
Correct.
He then joined the army. He got himself married, his wife's kids married, then his wife's siblings married, then one of his wife's sister's daughter, because he's an army officer, he adopted, then he got her married. And throughout our life, we've seen that he just keeps helping. Now, at the age of 90, he's the director of a management college. You go to that management college, everybody's like, this guy is our second father or our grandfather and stuff like that. And looking at him, you can pick his brain, you can ask him. He's just like simple guy, just helps everybody. My dad's gotten that from him. My uncles have gotten that from him. We all like to help each other. And they're tough guys. He was in the army. So it's like kind of, and he's super smart. Like when he did his MBA in 1988 from the army, he was #1 in North India. So we were in Wellington at that time, and his photograph came in the paper saying Colonel H.S. Singh tops MBA. It's that kind of brain. And he keeps through his anecdotes. He's funny, he's witty, and he's really proud of us. So you see his flaws also as a, and then you're like, okay, I'm going to learn from both of these things. And and really like very tough. Yeah.
Awesome. So I have 2 more questions, and then we have someone who's won a competition, and I'd like to bring him up. But before I bring him up, there's 2 questions that, because after listening to you for this much time, and I feel everyone listening here must be super inspired. How do you think students today can start their journey? I think it's all about the starts. How do you think they can start their journey?
I think I answered it earlier also. You got to recognize what you're happy with. It takes time. And when you keep experiencing and trying different things, you'll also understand what you like, what you don't like. If you can figure that out within your school and college, earlier you start with something, it's great. If you're on Youthopedia and you talk to somebody who can help you understand and then guide you, it'll be better. Because any skill, like if I could train to be a basketball player at the age of 7, now that I know that I love the sport so much, or a motocross rider at the age of 6, because when I started motocross at 30, it was just the most difficult thing to do. But
correct.
So the earlier you figure out what you like, what you enjoy, and there is no sharam nahi hoti. If you can tell somebody, mujhe sirf video games khelne mein maza aata hai, mujhe yahi karna hai. So maybe somebody can guide you how to become a video gamer, or work in a space where you could be in the marketing of video games, or if you're a coder, then you can help code the game. You could be in that universe. But you have to tell somebody who can help you, who can guide you that, yaar, mere ko actually is cheez mein maza aata hai. Mujhe design karna hai. Then they'll say, okay, we have a program that can help you design better. Why do you do this? Or so all of that. Express karna.
So, that's awesome. I'm going to bring Dhruv up now from Dayal Singh College, Delhi University. Can we have Dhruv up here?
Dhruv
Arora.
Yes,
Hi.
Hi Dhruv, क्या हाल है?
Fine, sir.
First of all, यार, congratulations. तुमने ये कॉन्टेस्ट जीता. एक तो मुझसे सवाल पूछने को मिलता है, और 10 करोड़ रुपए जो तुम्हें, वो कितने मजे आ रहे होंगे.
Thank you, sir.
10 crore? That's a joke. तंग मत करना भी तो. Yes.
Love your sneaker collection, first of all. Love your sneaker collections. So, like, I have a generic question. Like nowadays, like students and youth got into anxiety, overthinking, which gradually turns into depression.
Yes.
And I myself overthinks a lot over little things. Yeah. So, how you want to tell the youth, like, how should you tackle this problem? And do you also like get anxiety on like sometime while doing show or anything?
Yes. So Dhruv,
that's a great question.
बहुत ही गहरा सवाल. सबसे पहले मैं जो बोल रहा हूँ, मैं एक इंडिविजुअल की कैपेसिटी से बोल रहा हूँ, जिसको लगता है कि उसके लिए ये वर्क करता है. पर इन चीजों के लिए स्पेशलिस्ट हैं, प्रोफेशनल्स हैं, और उनसे कंसल्ट करना मेरी पहली एडवाइस होती है. लोग, आपके पिताजी, आपके बड़े भैया, आपके दोस्त, आपके फ्रेंड्स, सब आपकी बात सुन सकते हैं और अपने तरीके से एक जो उनको पता है एक इन्फॉर्म्ड एडवाइस दे सकते हैं, पर क्या वो करेक्ट एडवाइस है ये हमें नहीं पता। ये एक प्रोफेशनल जिसका काम ये है ना, उससे जानना जरूरी है। बट इन माय केस, yes, there is anxiety. Not when I'm going on stage with the 10,000 people. There's anxiety about safety of my parents, their health. There's anxiety about my kid, right? कि इसको चोट ना लग जाए. Just very general human anxieties. There's anxiety sometimes about जब lockdown हुआ था, some contracts got cancelled, and though I don't care about these things, but I care about how I'm going to fend for my family. So there was anxiety. But then you talk about it within your friend circle, within people, within your parents, and you realize that no, you know, you've done well enough, you have these things, you have some savings and all that. But anxiety होना एक natural चीज है. उसको एक एक पड़ाव को एक एक करके सॉल्व करना जरूरी है, एक साथ आप नहीं कर सकते। लेकिन सबसे पहला मेरा एडवाइस होगा कि जैसे यूथोपीडिया पे भी एक प्लेटफॉर्म है, मैं बार बार उनका नाम बोल रहा हूँ क्योंकि मैं बहुत इंप्रेस्ड हूँ कि ये सिर्फ एक यूनिडायमेंशनल एक चीज नहीं है, बहुत सारी चीजें हैं। कोई यहाँ पे प्रोफेशनल है जो आपकी मदद कर सकते हैं। स्कूल और कॉलेज में काउंसलर्स होते हैं। हम लोग स्कूल और कॉलेज को मानते ही नहीं है कि पहले जाकर वहां पे खेल लो, कैंटीन चले जाओ ये, लेकिन अगर आपको एक्चुअल कोई प्रॉब्लम है, आप वहां के काउंसलर से बात करेंगे, वो एक्चुअली क्वालिफाइड है टू टेल यू एंड टू हेल्प यू टू ईज योर थिंग्स आउट। एंड ये जो प्रोफेशनल्स होते हैं ना, जज नहीं करते। आपके दोस्त जज कर सकते हैं, आपके आसपास वाले लोग जज कर सकते हैं, क्या है तेरा डिप्रेशन, क्या है, चल थोड़ा खा ले, पकौड़े खा ले, खुश हो जा। ऐसा नहीं होता है। ये लोग जो प्रोफेशनल्स हैं, ये आपकी बात समझेंगे, आपको बताएंगे कि व्हाट आर यू गोइंग थ्रू और इसका क्या स्मॉल बेबी स्टेप्स होंगे टू डू इट। तो अच्छा है कि मैं आपको बता सकता हूँ कि मेरे लिए वर्क करता है। क्या वो आपके लिए वर्क करेगा, आई डोंट नो, बट किसको पता है? अ प्रोफेशनल। बट इट्स नॉर्मल ध्रुव, इट्स नॉर्मल टू फील एंजाइटी इन टुडेज वर्ल्ड। इट्स नॉट अ नॉर्मल वर्ल्ड। आप कोविड हो रहा है, पोल्यूशन हो रहा है, अनेक बीमारियां हैं, स्ट्रेस है, ट्रैफिक है, आप अपने फ्यूचर के बारे में सोच रहे हैं, इकोनॉमिकली मुश्किल हो रही है, तो एंजाइटी होना बहुत नॉर्मल है। उसमें अपने आप को ये मत घबराओ मत कि यार मेरे को एंजाइटी हो रही है, यार दूसरे तो मजे कर रहे हैं। सबकी लाइफ में अप्स एंड डाउन्स होते हैं। सही प्रोसीजर से सही इंसान को पकड़िए। जरूरी नहीं होता पैसा होता है कि यार मैं अफोर्ड नहीं करूंगा। साइकेट्रिस्ट की जो ये वो या डॉक्टर की या कोई प्रोफेशनल की हमें डर ये लगता है यार इतने पैसे नहीं है, लेकिन आपके सामने यूथोपीडिया है, आपके सामने आपके कॉलेज के काउंसलर्स हैं, उनसे बात करिए, थोड़ी क्लैरिटी मिलेगी। फिर आप ये भी देखिए कि आपको यार छोटी छोटी चीजें वो क्या है जिससे मजा आता था। यार मेरे को तो फोन पे लूडो खेलने में मजा आ जाता है कभी कभी, राइट? क्योंकि उसमें दिमाग, मुझे कोई अच्छी सीरीज देखने में मजा आता है, कुछ बैडमिंटन खेलने, कुछ बास्केटबॉल खेलने। उन चीजों को दोबारा करने की कोशिश करो, उसको ढूंढो अपनी लाइफ में। यार बचपन में तो मैं साइकिल चलाता था और मैं पेड़ पे चढ़ जाता था, उसमें मजा आता था, उसको दोबारा करो, शायद कुछ मजा आएगा। These are some suggestions that whatever my information is and my experience I can give, but this ये लकीर की फकीर नहीं है ये, ठीक है?
Like try to be happy as much as you can.
हाँ, but वो it's easy to say it कि यार खुश रहो. That's not the answer to depression or anxiety. It's not, right? The answer is to seek the help of somebody who's a professional.
Okay.
Because अगर मेरी बातें सुनकर ही लोग एंजाइटी से निकल जाते तो मैं कुछ जादूगरी हूँ, right विशाल? तो
yes, 100%.
तो ये you can take inspiration. People, if they help you without knowing it, and after talking, if it helps you, great. But my solution can't be everybody's solution.
Awesome. Thank you, Dhruv. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dhruv.
And yeah, it's been a great session. So thank you so much, Rannvijay, for taking the time out and doing this. I really hope you had a good time. And I think
I'm actually, I just want to say, Vishal, I'm really proud of you for one thing, that you took an opportunity in your college and you hosted something and you realized that you enjoy it. You must have had a great vibe, energy, and you pursued it. And today, I mean, that's your life. And even if auntie or somebody says कि यार ये कुछ better नहीं कर सकते, it's lack of awareness in their case and exposure that they haven't gone. And we are the next generation or the next generation. So really proud of you. And I'm also very delighted to be a part of this platform today, you know, Youthopedia, because it guides and directs youth in choosing the right career for them, not the right career for, engineer, doctor, actor. For a particular person, the career could be something that is unique. And somebody could help people, because and also dealing with social issues आजकल बहुत हो रहे हैं, and then best job opportunities, internship देना. तो अगर आप थोड़े से भी कंफ्यूज हैं, जो भी लोग देख रहे हैं, या आपको ऐसा लगता है कि आपको थोड़ी गाइडेंस चाहिए, कुछ असिस्टेंस चाहिए टुवर्ड्स योर लाइफ एंड यू नो seeking the right path, then all you have to do is just join these guys, follow them, subscribe to their handles on Facebook and Instagram, and I'm happy that I get an opportunity to इनकी जो आवाज है इसको थोड़ा आगे लेके जा सकता हूँ, इनके जो प्लेटफॉर्म है इसके बारे में बात कर सकता हूँ. Hopefully a little more people will know about it, and I'm glad and I'm really happy that we had this chat.
Awesome. I'm going to take a screen grab because I wish there was a way to take a selfie. I feel that life goal has been ticked in my life, at least, because I wanted to discuss sneakers with Rannvijay, and I did that. That is.
We should do it in person one day, bro.
100%, 100%. In fact, I might do something a little bit for Splitsvilla very soon. And I'll have the word sent across to you.
Wow. Best of luck.
So anyway, thank you so much. I'm going to take a screen grab. So yeah, 1 second. Yeah. And for everyone, please make sure to write in to info@youthopedia.in. If you like this session, we're going to have more sessions. Please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and all other handles. And we love you. Thank you so much, Rannvijay. Thank you. We love you so much.
Just want to tell everybody, जिनको जो chat है नीचे comments है, उसमें links होंगे social media handles के, Youthopedia के, so you don't have to go far and search. It'll be there. And just enjoy yourself. Stay safe. Stay at home. When you go out, wear a mask. सिर्फ तभी जाओ जब बहुत जरूरत है बाहर जाने की. And take care of yourselves.
Done.
Bye, Vishal.
Thank you so much, Rannvijay. Bye.